the world held its breath. From the bustling streets of Manila to the hallowed halls of the Vatican, all eyes turned towards St. Peter's Square. Anticipation hung heavy in the air. The Catholic Church stood at a crossroads. The fate of over 1 billion souls rested on the decision of the conclave. Then it happened. A plume of white smoke pierced the Roman sky. The signal echoed across the globe. A new pope had been chosen. The crowd erupted in cheers. A wave of excitement rippled through St. Peter's Square. The faithful had waited with bated breath, their prayers answered. A new era for the Catholic Church had begun. The name reverberated around the world. Pope Luis Antonio Tagle, a son of Asia, a man of the people, he was a beacon of hope for a church seeking renewal. The significance of this moment was not lost on anyone. For the first time in history, the papacy had been entrusted to an Asian. Pope Tagle's election symbolized a seismic shift in Catholicism's center of gravity. It was a testament to the faith's growing presence in the global South. More than that, it was a sign. The Church was ready for change. It was ready to embrace its future. The atmosphere within the Sistine Chapel was thick with tension. 138 cardinals, the electors of the Church, had gathered from every corner of the world. They came together to carry out their sacred duty. Their task was to elect the successor to St. Peter. Secluded from the world, they prayed and deliberated. The weight of history rested upon their shoulders. Day turned to night, and still the conclave continued. Behind closed doors, away from the prying eyes of the world, the voting commenced. Each ballot cast represented a prayer, a hope, a vision for the future of the Church. The world watched and waited, eager for any sign. The tension was palpable. Finally, on the second day, it came. The white smoke billowed from the chimney, a stark contrast against the azure sky. A collective gasp rose from the crowd in St. Peter's Square. Inside the Sistine Chapel, the cardinals looked on. Their faces were etched with a mixture of relief and awe. A decision had been made. The Holy Spirit had spoken. The senior cardinal deacon stepped onto the balcony. With a voice filled with emotion, he uttered the words the world was waiting for. Annuntio vobis gaudium magnum habemus papam, we have a pope. Luis Antonio Tagle's journey to the papacy was as unique as the man himself. Born in Manila in 1957, he grew up in a devout Catholic family. His deep faith and intellectual curiosity led him to the seminary. It was there that he began his lifelong journey of service to the Church. He rose through the ranks, serving as a parish priest, a seminary rector, and eventually as Archbishop of Manila. His warmth, humility, and deep understanding of the human condition endeared him to people from all walks of life. He was known for his infectious laugh, his ability to connect with ordinary people, and his unwavering commitment to social justice. Pope Tagle was a man of the people. He was deeply shaped by his experiences in the Philippines. He witnessed firsthand the struggles of the poor and marginalized. His ministry was marked by a profound concern for the less fortunate. He was a vocal advocate for the poor, the oppressed, and the forgotten. His election as Pope was a testament to his character and his vision. He was a man who embodied the spirit of the gospel. He was a shepherd who was not afraid to challenge the status quo. He was a leader who inspired hope and unity in a world often riven by division and despair. The news of Pope Tagle's election reverberated across the globe. From Manila to Latin America, people rejoiced. The Catholic world embraced its new leader. He was a symbol of hope and compassion. The Philippines erupted in jubilant celebrations. Church bells pealed, fireworks lit up the night sky. They felt a sense of pride in this historic moment. Their Chito had ascended to the highest office. World leaders admired the new Pope. They lauded his commitment to social justice and humility. He was seen as a unifying figure. However, not all reactions were positive. Some conservatives expressed reservations about his progressive views. They feared he might deviate from traditional teachings. Despite concerns, the response was optimistic. The world saw a compassionate leader, an advocate for the poor. He represented a new generation of Catholic leadership. A church for the modern world. Tagle's vision. Pope Tagle ascended to the papacy with a clear vision for the Catholic Church. He envisioned a church rooted in tradition and open to the modern world, a champion of the poor and marginalized, a beacon of hope. He spoke of a culture of encounter, reaching out to society's peripheries, those who felt forgotten or excluded. He stressed the importance of dialogue and learning from different viewpoints. The church should be a place of welcome, love, and acceptance. Tagle was a vocal advocate for social justice, confronting poverty, inequality, and environmental issues. His vision was grounded in love, compassion, and service. Catholics as agents of change in their communities and the world. Challenges and opportunities navigating a complex world. Pope Tagle's papacy was ushered in amidst a time of great change and uncertainty. The world faced numerous challenges, from climate change and political polarization to economic inequality and social unrest. The Catholic Church itself was grappling with internal divisions and the lingering effects of past scandals. The rise of secularism and the decline of religious affiliation in many parts of the world presented a significant challenge. Pope Tagle recognized the need to make the faith relevant to a new generation, one that was increasingly skeptical of organized religion. He also had to navigate the delicate balance between upholding church teachings and engaging with the realities of the modern world. Issues like same-sex marriage, contraception, and the role of women in the church remained points of contention. Despite these challenges, Pope Tagle's papacy was also a time of great opportunity. His election had energized the church, particularly in the global south, where Catholicism was experiencing significant growth. His message of hope, compassion, and social justice resonated with millions who yearned for a more just and equitable world. A legacy of compassion. Tagle's impact on the Church. Pope Tagle's papacy, though still in its early years, had already left an indelible mark on the Catholic Church. His warmth, humility, and deep compassion had touched the hearts of millions around the world. He had breathed new life into the Church, inspiring hope and a renewed sense of purpose. His emphasis on a culture of encounter had fostered a more welcoming and inclusive church. He challenged the faithful to step outside their comfort zones, to engage with those on the margins of society, and to recognize the dignity of every human person. His unwavering commitment to social justice had pushed the Church to confront pressing issues like poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation. He had reminded the world that the gospel message was not just about personal salvation, but also about transforming the world in the image of God's love and justice. His papacy was a testament to the power of humility, compassion, and dialogue. He had shown the world that the Church could be a force for good, a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in darkness. A message of unity and hope, the Pope's call to action. Pope Tagle's message to the world was one of unity, hope, and love. He called on people of all faiths and backgrounds to work together to build a more just and peaceful world. He reminded the faithful that they were not just members of a church, but citizens of a world in desperate need of healing and reconciliation. He challenged the faithful to be instruments of God's peace in a world often riven by conflict and division. He called on them to be bridge builders, to reach out to those different from themselves, and to foster understanding and reconciliation. He reminded them that the gospel message was a message of love, not hate, a message of forgiveness, not revenge. His words were a balm to a wounded world, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope could triumph over despair, love could conquer hate, and unity could overcome division. A new chapter begins, the future of the Catholic Church. The election of Pope Tagle marked the beginning of a new chapter in the long and storied history of the Catholic Church. His papacy, imbued with a spirit of humility, compassion, and dialogue, promised to guide the Church through the challenges of the 21st century. His vision of a church that was both deeply rooted in its traditions and open to the realities of the modern world resonated with millions around the globe. His emphasis on social justice, his commitment to dialogue, and his unwavering belief in the power of love offered a path forward for a church seeking to remain relevant in an ever-changing world. The journey ahead would undoubtedly be fraught with challenges, yet with Pope Tagle at the helm, the Catholic Church faced the future with renewed hope and a strengthened resolve to be a force for good in the world. Please subscribe to our channel History Documentary Hub for more insightful videos and intriguing content.